We did a number of things well. Just to recap a couple of those things, third down defense, we were 69% success rate, and we'd like to be 67%, so we're above that, and that amount would put you in the top about 15-17% in the country, I think, if you could operate at that weekly. So we were pleased with that, pleased with how we responded to the sudden change in the first quarter. After giving up an opening drive that we held them to a missed field goal, and then take the field again to 15 and don't give up any yards, and only give up a field goal on that, so we were pleased with that. Even counting the touchdown pass, the long touchdown pass, we felt we were able to control the passing game overall, operated at a level that, again, statistically speaking, would have put us in the top 20% of the country with yards per attempt. So things that we did well. Where we were displeased was, at the top of the list, was our tackling and our yards after contact. We've had 3 games that we've really tackled well this season. We did not tackle well on Saturday, but even more, the yards we gave up, whether it was from missed tackle or just yards after contact, really hurt our first and second down efficiency, and we got to get right back to work and making sure we're getting that shored up.
How did John Harris play last week, and how would you say he's played this year?
He is playing at a very good level for a true sophomore who's in his first year starting. I think, and I've commented on this to the staff and even to the defensive outfit, from where Scooter goes on Sunday to where he arrives on Saturday is a large tribute to him and his ability to learn and go out there and apply it on game day. There's been a number of practice weeks on Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday. I've been concerned with how Scooter's going to play. And then he goes out there and he's consistently played well, and he's been assignment sound, and his effort's been good, and he's been productive. So for a guy especially at the Mike linebacker position as a true sophomore in his first year starting, very pleased with where he's at.
How's he handling, making calls and that kind of
Doing very well with that. In today's age of football, when 11 guys are looking to the sideline for the call, it's not like the other 10 are relying on him for everything about it. They're relying on him to get them set once the call's out there, and he's doing a great job with that. He's a quiet leader, and he communicates effectively in that regard, and I think that will become a strength of his as he gets older and wiser.
Did you say the moments of curl and the way he's being, you said he'd be targeted?
Yeah, 10 plus, at least 10, if not 11. Depends on how you count an underneath throw in Saturday's game that he was targeted, and I thought he responded just tremendously well. He's an outstanding competitor, and obviously he's got good skills, and he's got the size that we see. And but if you were to take him out there and test him, maybe do a pro agility or 40 and do that against some of the guys that he's covering, I imagine they're going to probably test better than him, but he comes out there and competes, and he continues to make plays. I think he welcomes the challenge of them going after him. He's physical. It's not just a pass game piece of his game that he's playing well at. He's playing well on the run. He came up and made a tackle for a 2-yard gain on the edge of our defense. That was a very good open field play. He's smart. He wouldn't be out there if he wasn't, and knew exactly what needed to take place in our scheme, and makes very few busts as a true freshman cornerback, and been a delight to our defense.
He was just a cramp, right? I mean, he's okay?
Yes. Yeah, he came back.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
That was another tough pass interference call.
Yeah, it was a great play by him. Yep, great play by him in the end zone, and wouldn't instruct him to do it any other way. Made a great play on the ball in a position where the receiver had created an advantage through separation, and forced Cam to have to catch up and play with his eyes to the receiver instead of back, and he made an excellent play on the ball as it came in there, and proud of his effort on that play.
Could he have done anything different? I mean, he was right there on that touchdown catch.
Don't see anything that I would have coached differently on that play.
When you look at Bama, people saying they're more downhill right now. What have you seen with that ball as opposed to previous?
Well, they're a very explosive offense, and they've got weapons everywhere you turn, especially beginning with the quarterback position. You know, he leads them in rushing as well he does as throwing, and it's not just scramble. That's design quarterback run, and he makes them go, and if something's not right, he still makes them go because of his athleticism and his feet. Calvin Ridley is as good a player as we'll see all season long. He's explosive. He's fast. He's dynamic. He's going to carry it. He's going to catch it. He's going to catch it vertically. He's going to catch it underneath. And then the rest of that receiving core is equally blessed with talent and the ability to get open. I think they do a nice combination with their tight ends as far as run and pass game. You say, well, Hinges has only got 2 catches, but they're both for touchdowns, so you got to be very well aware of him in the passing game as well. They're going to send at least 4 running backs at you. And when you talk about the downhill nature maybe of what they are this year, whether it's more or less or however you'd categorize it, those guys can do it. Whether they're going to make a move, get in the open field and leave you behind, or they're going to drop a shoulder and run you over. They're very qualified to do that. And then the offensive line, you know, it's a group of four experienced starters, and they play extremely well together. Whether it's combination blocks or pass protection, there's just no weaknesses or holes in their offensive system or their talent.
Sure that you see outside your program a little bit, know what happened this weekend. When there's an upset like there was, and I think you know the teams, is that something you mentioned to your guys, that things can happen like that in college football?
I think you're always talking about opportunities that present themselves, and I don't know if you need to get overly specific with them because they're keenly aware too, and know that it can happen every week. And a phrase that's often said: if you can't get excited about a game like this, you probably don't have a pulse. And our guys know what is at stake, and it's on the road and in a great environment. Is it hostile? Sure, but it's a great environment. And they get the challenge of playing the #1 team in the country, and when she kicks off, it'll be 0-0, and 1 or 2 teams will walk away with the victory.
I guess Alabama made a late offer with Harris, but he stuck with Arkansas. I mean, I don't think you were here at that time, but how good was that?
Sure glad he did. Yeah, sure glad he did. I was not aware of that because he was already signed when I came aboard, but I got a chance to go into his high school last spring, and that's always fun when you haven't been exposed to it, because you see from a principal's office to a counselor's office to assistant coach, how much they think of that young man and how proud of him they are back home, and to see him growing and maturing here is great fun for us.
I mean, how good is that to have a guy at Alabama?
Well, I think it's just good to have a player the quality of Scooter Harris, and whether it's Alabama or whoever's #2 in the country right now or #3 in the country and so forth. You want great players in your program, and you want to recruit them, and sometimes who recruits them and where they're rated coming out doesn't mean what they're going to be 3 or 5 years from then, but clearly in 2 years he's shown that he's a player.
I know Iowa State's obviously in the past for you, but you still know a lot of those players, obviously recruited a lot of them. When you see Saturday, they went on the road and beat Oklahoma, what goes through your mind?
Oh, it's a tremendous victory, very happy for those kids, especially a young man by the name of Joel Lanning who played both ways for them, and we recruited, and he selflessly is playing defense when he could have challenged for the starting quarterback job, and then he has to go over and play quarterback for him and plays it well, and I think he was the Walter Camp Award winner for the week, and he's just a tremendous young man who never showed any signs of negativity with the change or what was done with him, and so very pleased for a guy like that and all the other kids in the program. But a couple weeks ago, they were talking about the Kentucky and Florida series and how lopsided it is and how long it's been. Take a look at the Iowa State-Oklahoma numbers and look how lopsided they are. They're ugly. And for a team and a staff to finally go get that W, very, very, very happy for them.
Hey, Dre's tackle numbers have been down the last couple of games. I'm not smart enough to know if that's scheme or what teams are doing, but what
Yeah, I think it is. That would be at the top of the list of why that's the case, and he's not playing, any less than he was when he was hitting those high numbers here a couple of games ago, and he could spike again this week. Matter of fact, I'd like that, if he'd spike again this week and have a good output.
And Brucey, Rick mentioned you guys were using the game a little bit the nose the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of how'd that come about, how'd that work, what'd you do there?
Well, as we've talked about in here on a weekly basis, we're trying to gain an advantage from a pass rush and a pass pressure standpoint, and it was one of the things that we did in this particular game is move him inside and put some other guys with maybe a little bit more athleticism on the edge as we brought some pressure. They did a very good job of throwing it on time. If you go back and look at the TV copy, I mean, they were shotgun 3 steps and let it go. And so we were not going to get there with hardly any of our pressure, but we were forcing them to throw on time, and the pressure that we did bring was very efficient for us in that ball game.